Guys, as we wrap up the first round of the 2021 NBA playoffs, there are many teams that are coming out of this first round from being eliminated that know they need to make a lot of moves this offseason in order to improve and get to the next level. And undoubtedly, one of these teams, I'm sure most of you know as well as I do, is the Boston Celtics. As this was a team that we all just watched last year make it to the 2020 NBA Conference Finals, which resulted in setting the bar quite high for their expectations going into the 2021 NBA playoffs. And even though a lot of uncertainties and mishaps led to their first round exit, there are definitely moves this team can make going forward, and that is what we are going to be getting into in today's video. As always, y'all know I'm more than excited to get into another one of our videos, but before we do, I'm going to save any of you new guys the time and effort and give you 5 seconds to go down below and subscribe. Cannot say it enough, you guys. We are coming out with brand new NBA content around here on a daily basis. Trust me, you don't want to miss what we got coming forward. So for any of you guys that do this, thank you so much. I appreciate you more than anything in the world, but let's get into this. Now, I think I can confidently say the first and most important thing this Boston Celtics team needs to do going into this 2021 offseason is to go into the trade market with absolutely no restrictions whatsoever. Yes, I'm sure most of you know that this point is centered around trading their current starting point guard Kemba Walker, which it is also actually rumored that Danny Ainge was exploring the trade market for Kemba Walker during the regular season, but that topic is for another video. Point is, with them still having Kemba Walker and having his massive contract take up a lot of cap space and him being more injury prone than the Boston Celtics probably expected, I think a lot of other people can agree with me that trading Kemba Walker to a different team is the first move that this team needs to make to sort of restructure themselves for the next season. And as we are still on trade talks, I personally do believe as well that this shouldn't be the only trade that the Boston Celtics at least look into this offseason. As I'm sure we all know, they have a plethora of young stars and still draft capital that they can throw into some of these trades to get them some solid pieces around Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown that would overall be able to suit them better as a team in terms of making a deep run into the postseason. If any of you guys watching have some ideas off the top of your head about who the Boston Celtics could possibly trade for, please let me know in the comments down below, you guys. I want to hear what you have to think about this situation as well. But yeah, I think I can confidently say that a Boston Celtics roster reconstruction is a foregone conclusion at this point. However, besides looking into trades, there is another major area of the Boston Celtics offseason moves that needs to be capitalized on and done correctly, and this includes the Boston Celtics being able to lock down their solid role players that they saw throughout the course of the entire season for the right price. And when I am talking about these solid role players for the Boston Celtics, I have two people in mind, and that is Evan Fournier and Robert Williams. Starting off with Evan Fournier, this is obviously someone who is not too familiar with Boston, again because they traded for him in the middle of the 2021 season, and he is going into this offseason as an unrestricted free agent, and I've seen rumors around the fact that he may be asking for around $20 million per year in the next contract that he signs. And I've seen a lot of arguing on social media since this rumor came out around the fact of, is Evan Fournier a guy that is worth $20 million a year? To be honest, if this rumor is true, I would try to bargain with Evan Fournier a little bit, but I would definitely consider giving him this kind of money around a 3-year deal if I was the Boston Celtics. Because I know initially when you think of $20 million in Evan Fournier, they don't really fit that well together, but when you think about what other players in the NBA make these days, this doesn't seem like too far of a stretch. Because unless the Boston Celtics are confident in this free agency period that they can get somebody that is to the caliber of Evan Fournier or even better for a more reasonable rate, this is definitely something, again, the Celtics should at least consider. But either way, getting into another player that I really do feel the Boston Celtics need to lock up long term as soon as they possibly can, and this man is Robert Williams. As I really do feel that this man was the biggest surprise for all Celtics fans this season, as he went above and beyond his expectations from this team. And as a guy like Robert Williams is currently only 23 years old, I think I can confidently say that he is only going to get better as time progresses, meaning if the Boston Celtics want to lock up this man long term for a smaller asking price, they need to do this immediately this offseason. Again, if they can't, it's not the end of the world. I'm just thinking in terms of what would make this Boston Celtics offseason a successful one. But aside from looking at the players that the Boston Celtics need to re-sign and sign this offseason, there is also another position in this team that needs to have a signing, and this is the head coaching vacancy, which is definitely something the Boston Celtics will take high consideration into choosing who they are going to go with. Honestly, you guys, I'm not going to sit here and act like I know the perfect situation and the perfect coach for this Boston Celtics team to hire, but again, and as always, I am really anxious to hear what you guys have to think of this situation and who you think would be the best coach to fit in this situation with the Boston Celtics. Just to name off a few free agent head coaches off the top of my head, we have people like Lloyd Pierce, Jason Kidd, Mike Brown, Mike D'Antoni, Sam Cassell, etc. So there are definitely more options than I believe most people think in terms of head coaching vacancies, but again, the Boston Celtics are going to take this into high consideration in terms of finding somebody that can fit this team for the long haul. And the last major point that I wanted to make for this Boston Celtics team this offseason kind of has to be reliant on one of the first points that I made to actually happen, which does involve trading Kemba Walker away. However, if they are able to do this, they would be able to go into the 2021 free agency window with a lot more possibilities than beforehand. And believe me, I know the idea of trading away Kemba Walker to clear up all of that cap space that he currently holds is definitely something that is going to be difficult to do. But again, if they could, it would give them a lot more possibilities to do in this offseason besides trades, which right now really is their only option in terms of looking at their cap space. And when we look at the 2021 free agency class, I know it is not as crazy as what we have seen in years past, but there is definitely more potential in this class, I think, than people are giving it credit for, especially in terms of trying to find role players to fit around their top two guys in Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum. All in all, though, it is very obvious to say that this team has a lot of work and a lot of questions to answer this offseason. It's safe to say as well, they have made it very clear already that they are in the middle of this process and it is not going to end anytime soon. This team and organization has so much potential going forward, again with their two-star players being 23 and 24 years old, already playing at all-star, even superstar caliber level. They need to capitalize on what they have in front of them right now, and I really do feel the first step they take this offseason is going to lay out the future for this team for the next 5 years or so. But again, you guys, as I really can't say it enough, I want to hear what you guys have to think about this situation with the Boston Celtics, so please let me know in the comments down below what you think is the most important and crucial action that the Boston Celtics need to execute this offseason, because there is definitely a lot, but I want to know what you guys think needs to be done above all else. But on that note, you guys, I'm really hoping you did enjoy today's video. If you did, don't forget again to go down below, leave a like on the video, and subscribe, and let me know as well if you want to see me make these kind of videos for offseason moves for other teams, because there are definitely a lot more teams that can be covered with this topic, so if you want to see your team or any team in specific, let me know about that in the comments as well. But on that note, you guys, I just want to say once again, thank you so much to each and every one of you for watching. Appreciate all of you more than anything in the world. You all know this, and without further ado, I will see you guys in the next video.